Hello all you model building enthusiasts out there. This is my 10th update on my 1/16 Kenworth W900 build. And I got started on the cab, excuse me, and I've been taking my time with it. I didn't get as far as, I didn't get that far with it, period. But I wanted to update everybody on what I've done and how I've been doing it. So anyway, the first thing I want to mention is I've gotten quite a few materials for the interior, and one of them I got was this one right here. And I was going to use this material, but it's made out of vinyl. I thought it was made out of leather, and the backing is all nylon. It's a nice material, but unfortunately I wasn't able to use it, simply because of the fact that I wanted to be able to take the backing down. So this is the material I also purchased and that I went with. This is a real leather material. It's it looks pleated, but the pleats are smaller than I wanted. But I went ahead and went with it anyway. And one of the things I did is I used this drum to take down the back of the leather, so that way it's a lot softer and more pliable. And as you can see, this hasn't been taken down, and it's not as pliable. And this is some of the other material I'm using also, which is actually a lambskin leather material. And one of the things I wanted to mention before I go any further about using this is that when you use this, and if anybody does plan on taking the backing down on leather, you got to be very careful. You want to, make light passes on it. And one of the things too is it's very messy. This stuff clumps up. It's almost like lint when you take it off. It's still actually quite moist, so when you take it off, so it makes a mess. So plan on, if you're going to do something like this, it's going to make a mess. And so anyway, I got my seats started, and they're drying right now. I just sprayed them white. This is the first coat of white that I'm doing on them, and I custom made the armrests. Now the seats are going to be white with a red in the center and the square areas you can see here, and with white buttons. And then I'm going to do the armrests in red. Because truckers, they get their arms filthy. White eventually wouldn't look all that great on an armrest. And over here, I've got the Firewall ready to go. I had to use some epoxy and fill it in. And basically what I did was I cut out the sides here and just left these areas in here for the dashboard, and put another piece of sheet plastic in here to extend it. And because the floor doesn't match up to the doors, and if I had left this alone, where you see this end of the blue plastic here, the floor would have came up too high. So I had to extend it out a little bit. It's not too bad looking when I put it in. You see a little bit of the angled floor at the front corner of the door, well, of both doors I should say. And over here, here's my door panels. And so basically what I did with these is I used a piece of cereal box cardboard, and I cut them out, and then I super glued, like I said, I took down the leather, and then I super glued it, on the back side of the cardboard. On these I used a piece of plastic to put all the pieces together, because I have like 3 different pieces here. I got a real piece of wood on top, then the lambskin red leather, and then of course the white leather. Actually it was tan, and I painted it white because I wanted it white. And then for the buttons I used pins, and I pushed the pins through, or either drilled holes and put holes in it, painted them red, and then super glued them into place. So those are my door panels. And over here, here's my headliner. And same thing I did with this is I used cereal box cardboard. As you can see, I wet the cardboard down until it got nice and soaking wet, and then I took it and let me see if I can find the rooftop here. I used this piece of the rooftop that I have from the other cab, and I pinned it in and made sure that it molded around here, and then let it dry for 24 hours. And then again, you know, I took down the back of the leather, and I used a spray glue. This stuff here is 3M or Scotch spray glue, and glued it all down to the cardboard, and then super glued the edges over. And these are just pieces of cereal box cardboard also that I super glued the red leather onto. And I made a console for it, put the CB radio on there. And these are actually the bumper lights that I just used for speakers, and I just went ahead and painted those black. As you can see, make sure. So there's all the pins that I glued onto the back from the super glue. And this is going to be the speaker and the speaker wire, which I plan on attaching to the headliner. I also filled in the back of it. It's got to be sanded down. But basically, oh, and one other thing I almost forgot is I just sprayed this. This is real wood, balsa wood that I just sprayed. I sanded it all up, got it nice and smooth, and then I went ahead and hit it with turn signal red until I got it as dark as I wanted to. Then I'm going to do custom air ride seats between the seats and the floor. Now, I had already done this floor once and I didn't care for it, so I went ahead and sanded it correctly and did it right this time because I didn't like the way it looked. And with that, where is it? This right here, I actually did wood on the first attempt, and it worked. And I didn't want to use a thicker piece of plastic, so I went ahead and scrapped that idea and put this plastic in. And I'm just gonna paint that white and paint that red and make it look like wood, like I did with the cabinets. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I've gotten done so far on the cab. You know, I cleaned up around the door edges on the cab, and I cleaned up on the doors, around the doors. I left a little bit on the edges of the doors so that you don't have too much of a gap on them. And I plan on putting I got 2 windshields, so I plan on putting no plastic in the window here to help reinforce the frame here, because I don't want something happening to that. But anyway, yeah, so that's as far as I've gotten so far. And like I said, it's been a little bit of a slow process. You know, I don't want to go too fast on this interior. Anyway, so until next month, and maybe I'll, you know, I doubt I'll probably have the cab done by then, but at least I'll have a lot more done by then. Anyway, it's still going, still work in progress. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and enjoy your builds. Bye for now.